Hello guys, it's Twig-verse Studios here, and welcome to my forest. You like the picture? I don't have many of them, so this is probably all we're getting. Okay, so, since it's New Year Halloween, I've decided that I'm going to do a little small series for the next 2 or so weeks, maybe. Mainly this one, and then, only a week, probably only a week. And so, I've decided that I'm going to make 4 horror characters. Probably should have made less, but I digress. And I'm going to show them over the next week or so. So, I've decided to make, I'm going to show you one of the characters that I've made so far. And this is going to be a shorter video. I tried doing it before. I tried making this video. It was 13 minutes long. I decided that I'm going to try and make it a bit shorter than that by concising it all down and not trying to ramble on. I might fail, but you never know. So here is my first. So here's the one figure of this video. And here is the ghost face. Now, I'm not really a big fan of the Scream movies as it would be. I don't know. I just find it kind of annoying that, like, they know the rules and everything, and yet they still do it. It just kind of annoys me. Because, like, you still have the rules and everything, and you know what to do, but you never do it. And eventually, it just goes on the same path, because then it just gets really obsessed with Sydney. So, it just kind of keeps on going to that path. And it's always somebody different, though. That's my one major problem with it. It was somebody, it was the same guy over and over again. It would get stale still, but it would still make sense. But it's always someone different, and it's always been connected to Sydney. And it has always annoyed me, and I don't know. But my favorite versions of the character are from the Scream TV series, the first 2 seasons specifically, because screw the 3rd season. I think we all agree with that one. That season can go gladly. Gladly. Itself. I mean that so heavily. Just, I hate it. It's just like the worst season of the first 2 seasons are one of my favorite because of how it like changes the character, and then the Dead by Daylight version, obviously, because I'm sorry that that movie is freaking hilarious. If you know what I'm talking about, it'll probably be the thumbnail, so it's always funny. But anyway, on to the review. So Ghostface is inspired by, well, the Scream TV series, the first 2 seasons at least. As you can see by like by specifically the coat, because I decided to make it instead a raincoat, where in the TV series it's a rain poncho, but then I kind of made it a raincoat because I kind of thought it would make it look different, and I do like how it looks, and so I just added the buttons and like the dividing line with matte black paint, because I didn't want to do gray paint because that's way too like revealing, so I decided, hey, let's just do matte black. And so the mask is also heavily inspired from not only the original version, but then also the MTV version. It's a weird mix of the two. So if I can focus it in. Actually, I have an idea. Huh. Well, what do you know? Your turned out even better than I thought it would. Okay, so I inspired the mask off of the original version and then a mixture with the Scream TV series version. So, as you can see, the eyes, the mouth, and the nose are way more wonky and not, like, as I would say, like, symmetrical with the mask, because I like how it looks in the Scream TV series, how it looks very messy, essentially. It has, like, whack eyes, whack mouth, and it just, like, doesn't look symmetrical, and I like that element of it. But I didn't like how it looked like the... I want to do a more inhuman mouth, just because I thought, because... Whenever I see the mouth from the Scream TV series, it makes me go, every time. Because I'm just like, well, why would you, like, it just, because it's too much like a human face, so it always reminds me of, like, someone just going like that forever, and it just makes me feel kind of uncomfortable on the inside. Oh, whoops, actually. Forgot to do that. Aw, tilted again. Okay. So anyway, this is not, like, a thing from the TV series or anywhere. I just want to do it for reasons. So on my version, Scream obviously has like the little white thing that you can see on his arm. And the reason why I wanted to do that is just because I thought it looked really bland. And another idea I had was, like, he has, like, separate sleeves, so he's, like, a gray shirt underneath with, like, black gloves or whatever, and, like, it's, like, a morph suit kind of, like, underneath his thing. Or, like, at least a connecting sweater kind of thing, you know what I mean? So, like, his hands and arms would be covered up, but then he'd still be wearing the coat and different pants. Hey, you know what I mean? So on for the accessories, I have, obviously, his knife. Now, the knife was very interesting to make because I didn't want to use any of my other knives that I have, because I have a lot of brick forge knives. And so what I did for this one was I used a short sword, cut off the tip, and then used a razor blade to then slice, like, upwards like that, so that it'd give it more like a knife edge. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about for those of you who don't. Kind of like this, essentially. So then it, like, moves up to a tip. I actually do have another knife, but I'm saving that for another one of the characters. Also, you like this? I bought it from a place called Spirit Halloween. Go there. It's freaking awesome. Awesome place. Great service. It was awesome. And so what I did for the knife is I dry brushed everything I think a tan color. I think it was either a light brown or a tan. And then, sorry, I wanted to keep my video going in the background. Anyway, so then I dry brushed a tan, and then I painted it brown, and then I put the handle in his hand, and I just kind of spun it around so that way a lot of the paint would be chipped off, weirdly enough, so that it looked like duct tape. Because I was either thinking, okay, so either the dry brush will get in there and then it'll look like a wooden handle, or it's gonna look in there, or it's gonna not go in there at all, and then it'll look like duct tape, which either way it looks good, or some sort of tape. It doesn't have to be duct tape. And then I originally had a chrome pen that I was gonna use on the blade that I was gonna use, but it didn't work out because I painted the thing because I painted it with a base coat of matte black. So then it just wouldn't go, and it looked like a dungy silver. It was like, ugh, it doesn't look good, or it didn't look good. And so then instead what I did is I painted it over with a regular silver that I had. And then I had some fake blood lying around. And I should probably use just red paint, but I just used fake blood. And I used it on there, and I kind of like it. He always, like, wipes it clean. He always goes like, or whatever. But she wears gloves, never mind. His second accessory is one that I'm kind of really, I think is like a really weird reference that I made to myself. So it's from like a Monster Hunter set, or like one of those Ghost Hunters sets, whatever, with all like the kids with like the beanies or whatever the hell I have. And I decided to use this instead of just like a regular block nose, because I knew I had a phone on me. I was thinking, okay, well, you just have a smartphone. But then I found this, I was like, okay, well, it's still perfect either way. And so then I just thinking, this is like a screensaver or something. Also, here's a funny thing. So, anybody remember Screenslaver from the Incredibles 2 movie? Or the Incredibles 2, not the Incredibles 2 movie. Sorry, I sound like a bootleg person sometimes, because that made sense. And so what I did, crap, now, sorry guys, I'm stuck in that little thing of talking about the figure forever. You get out of my life, figure. Actually, don't, you give me a channel. But anyway, on to the point that I'm trying to make. Essentially, I liked his voice. I liked the screensaver's voice, and thought it sounded a lot like Ghostface from the movies. And I thought, hey, if they ever make a reboot, they should make his voice sound like that. And they did make a reboot. I never watched it, even though it was Jack Quaid in it. I don't know why I always think this, but whenever I see the freaking poster for that movie with Jack Quaid in it, all I could think is, Jack Quaid's the killer, isn't he? I don't know why I think that, but I think Jack Quaid's the killer every time. It just seems obvious to me. I don't know why, but it just does. Well, either way, that's how I'm going to finish off the vid. And I'm actually going to tell you guys... Should I? Actually, yeah, I'll tell you guys. Okay, so the next 4 figures I'm going to make, is Freddy, Jason, and Michael Myers. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking that maybe I should have done Chucky, because, well, I'm making all the other figures and I have them mostly done so far. And I bet a lot of people are thinking, well, why don't you do Chucky? He's getting a second season in a little while. I think actually the second season came out, maybe. I'm pretty sure, yeah. But I feel as though I might do that later instead, when next Halloween comes around. Or not next Halloween, but you know what I mean. Maybe like a week after I'll do like a part 2 of this. Or maybe this will become just an annual thing and I just make a bunch of horror characters. I mean, there's a bunch of horror characters I gotta make from a bunch of good things. Like Dead by Daylight. Dude, Dead by Daylight, like so many freaking killers. But anyway, off my little tangent. So this will be a yearly thing for this channel, where every year I will make 4 figures 2 weeks from Halloween and do 1 review before, a double review, and then on Halloween I'll review the last figure. Or I guess Saturday I'll do the last figure. But until then, that is all I have for you guys, so bye.